Mr. Chairman. Mr. Giordano, you served for a short period of time as the U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey. The day after you were sworn in, you asked a judge to put on hold for 180 days a bribery case against a New Jersey company that was accused of paying $2 million to an Indian government official in order to obtain a construction permit in India. I assume, given that it was your second day on the job, you hadn't had the opportunity to do a full review of the merits of the case. Am I correct in assuming that you asked for that suspension of the case because of the President's executive order requesting the suspension of enforcement of the Corrupt Foreign Practices Act?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. And it was an absolute honor to serve as
I don't need a full predicate. Just, is that the reason you asked for the suspension of the case?
Senator, it was the executive order coupled with my experience as a federal prosecutor in knowing that it's important to have a complete overview, a complete understanding of a case when moving forward. As it was my second day, I hadn't been read in on the matter and needed to request that time.
Yeah, I understand that, but most U.S. attorneys don't ask for every single pending case to be suspended while they review it. You move forward with important cases. Let me ask you about the consequences here, because as I mentioned, Namibia is in the process of potentially ushering in a really great expansion of their natural resource extraction capabilities. But we are not currently enforcing the Corrupt Foreign Practices Act. So if a Namibian government official demanded that, say, Chevron or Exxon pay them millions in dollars in bribes in order to get permits, would you be okay with that? Or should we have law that is enforced that restricts the ability of U.S. companies to pay bribes to foreign officials?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. Africa, the government, they understand the need for strong regulatory framework and stability for investment in the country. They understand the need for rooting out corruption. In fact, the government and the president...
Again, I don't know that it needs a predicate. Just do you believe that we should have laws preventing American companies from paying bribes to foreign governments, given that this is, I think, potentially directly relevant to your post in Namibia?
Thank you, Senator, and I appreciate that. Senator, we do have those laws, and I believe strongly in the rule of law and enforcing such.
But we don't currently enforce the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. So do you believe you can do your job if we are not enforcing the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act? Do you support the suspension of enforcement of that act?
Senator, I do believe that I can do my job, and I will work closely with the Justice Department on anything that I may see in Africa, particularly in Namibia, that flies in the face of the rule of law and how U.S. companies need to operate.
You don't believe it's critical or important to have the enforcement of the Corrupt Foreign Practices Act restarted?
Senator, as I mentioned, I've yet to get on the ground there, but when I do, I'll look to see what may fly in the face of the rule of law and work with the United States Department of Justice.
I understand you're in a tough position here, but you're probably the first nominee to not publicly support the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in asking for a position in a key post overseas. Mr. Issa, tell me a little bit about the importance of the Lebanese armed forces. We have a bipartisan consensus on this committee that this is a very important institution for the preservation of peace. Even though there's not new funding in the president's budget, my hope is that, as we tend to do, Republicans and Democrats will come together to support the Lebanese armed forces. Tell me what you understand is their contribution to the preservation of peace and the protection of democracy, as fragile as it is inside Lebanon.
Thank you, Senator, for this very important question regarding Lebanon. The LAF, or Lebanese Armed Force, is now the only maybe institution in Lebanon that still have some notoriety, and it's multi-sectarian, that everybody still consider probably the only savior in what have left from Lebanon as we know it today. And obviously lately they've been working hard and doing a great job by applying, let's say, by being in the south of Lebanon, trying to work on displacing Hezbollah from the south and taking ground over there to be on our border. So it is important for us to consider the aid that we give for LAF that has been going for a long time, still going on, because they are doing a great role into creating stability that is very well needed in Lebanon. So
I agree with you. I know Senator Risch shares that view, and I appreciate you sharing those sentiments with the committee.
thank you.
Thank you, Ranking Member Murphy. Turn to Senator Daines, please.
Senator Hagerty, thank you. I'm going to start with Kazakhstan. I'm pleased to see